Now on the APEC VIP hotline, cutting-edge training for the serious athlete, apecgo.com. Joining us now, the head football coach of the Dangerfield Tigers, Arec Sardenia. How you doing, Coach?
Doing very well.
Well, tell me how the week's gone for you so far.
Well, we had a good practice yesterday, and kids are really picking up the fine-tuned details of what it's going to take to beat these guys on Friday. So, we're really excited about just the prep that we had yesterday.
Tell me about your blowout win, 47-14 over Winsboro the other night.
Well, we started slow. We went out, and Coach Bunnell had his guys playing very well in that first quarter, and we got some key breaks, in that second quarter, and scored a few points, and then coming out in the second half, really felt like that the kids just didn't let up. They just continued to play hard the entire football game, and 47-14 really, that was the score, but the kids, on both sides of the ball, offense and defense, really played very well, but so did Winsboro. I mean, they had a really good football team, and we just got some. We took care of the little small things that we had practiced on all during the week, and it helped us.
Talk about your running game, because it just seems like you guys, just once you get rolling, it's hard to stop it.
Well, and I appreciate that. The kids really take a lot of pride in running the football. The offensive line, the running backs, our running back coach has done a really good job with those kids, and our offensive line. I mean, our offensive line coach is really, the kids, just watching them from two-a-days to where we are now, they've done a tremendous job of just going out in practice, taking care of the fundamentals, and we're seeing it from one week to the next. We're seeing the kids really buy into how important the fundamentals are, and just taking that talent has really helped the running backs find the holes when those linemen are being fundamentally sound.
Your team's 10-3 right now, but they're probably the favorite in the ball game against an undefeated New Boston team this weekend. It must be nice to be in a situation where the tradition is such that people expect you guys to go as far as possible in the playoffs every year.
Right. Well, the tradition, it helps. It helps because the kids really believe in what they're doing and what was established before them. The problem is the tradition doesn't take care of the details on Friday night unless you take care of it Monday through Thursday. So that's the part that we stress to the kids is it's good to have that tradition, and we wouldn't take it. We wouldn't have it any better than that. But we still got to go out and prepare, and the expectations of us going on past this are high. But again, as coaches, we got to make sure that we keep the kids grounded and making sure that they don't get too high, and they go out and prepare themselves Monday through Thursday.
What do you think has been the key to the success of your football team this year?
Well, I'll tell you, I think it's the same as it was last year when my first year was. We started off in two-a-days, and you don't know where you are during two-a-days. You have no idea, and you see the talent, but you got to put that product out there and become comfortable with the product that's out there. And those kids believing in each other, and every week it's a battle, just trying to, from injuries to kids just still not understanding, and from one week to the next going in preseason, preseason, and then going into district, it just continue to see how they become better as a family. And I saw that last year, and I'm seeing it more this year. Is just believing and trusting in each other. And so I think that's really at this time of year, you got to have that more than anything. We can go out there and play right now, but you gotta continue to build every day. These are young men. They're not professionals. And so there's so many little things that you can work on every day, and that's what we continue to do.
All right, so this weekend you play New Boston, and they've got the running back, Damian Haskins, who's headed to Oregon State. What are your thoughts about him?
He's a good running back. I talked to a guy yesterday You know, and you know, one of the things that he does very well is he gets behind his pads, he gets behind those linemen that they have, and you know, and he's going to Oregon State. But let me tell you, they got some offensive linemen that has allowed him to go to Oregon State. He's a really good running back, and their offensive line is really good. And he does a good guy. He has good vision, has good speed, good power. He's probably, as I've said before, he's one of the best I've seen, and I've seen some good ones. And you know, he's just from what I hear he's a tremendous kid. And so when you have a kid that's a good kid and he's a good athlete, it takes you to places like Oregon State.
Now, in looking at him and looking at New Boston, how do they compare with anybody else that you might have played this year?
Well, you know, we hadn't played anybody like them other than you know, I mean, they're by the time that we played New Boston, they were similar at that time to Gladewater, in my opinion, in our first ball game. But again, that was early in the year, and then they were similar to when we played Gilmer. So obviously, those were the two other losses that we had, and that was very, you know, like I said, that was very apparent to me that's exactly what I saw when we played them the first time. And right now, watching them on tape, they seem like they've gotten better. And so have we. So they seem to be similar to those two teams.
When you lost to them 38-37 in the first ball game back on October the 5th, talk about that ball game. What you recall about that? What did they do that gave you trouble then? Obviously, Haskins was huge.
Well, you know, there's you know, it's obvious. I mean, they you know, the obvious ingredient, and it's in every team that they've played this year. It's been obvious that's who the ingredient is. It's you know, they give it to Damian and let him go do his thing, and so you know, you see how they feed him and what we got to do is tackle, and that's one of the things we didn't do very well was tackle. We were there, but we didn't tackle him. So you know, we're not going to do too much different. We're better than we were then, and we got to put the kids in the right spots and make sure they go tackle. Offensively, we got to make sure that we do a good job of running the football and then just taking what we do in our offense and allowing the quarterback to go out and make plays. You know, our offense is built around the quarterback, just putting people where they're supposed to be, and you know, and that's what he's done well. You know, since we started in two-a-days, he's just gotten better every week.
How much easier is it to get your team's attention when you're playing a team that has beaten you once before in a really close ball game, and now you got a chance to get back at them this time?
Well, you know, again, we got to keep them grounded. We can't get too high, and so we're just, you know, we don't have to get our kids up for any game. And you know, when you get a chance at somebody for the second time in a year, you know, it's obvious, and so all we do is just go out and just try to correct our mistakes from the last time, correct our mistakes from last week, and just continue to watch tape and get better on the fundamentals. As far as what, you know, where our kids are mentally on things like that, we don't get into all that, and they know what's ahead of them. I mean, you know, when I visited with them yesterday, you know, what we talked about was just specifically, don't get too high, don't get too low. You know, we got another chance at New Boston, and that's all that needs to be said.
Is your team playing the best football of the season right now?
You know, after Friday's game, I think we are. You know, you go back to Callisburg, and I thought Callisburg did a really good job game planning and played hard. You know, and everyone's, you know, where they had us, and they were a good football team. You know, and Coach Pinkert had a good game plan, and so we feel like that right now after that game, and then coming back and rebounding from the struggles that we had in that game, we really played at a high level on Friday. And so a lot of that has to do with just motivation and playing with a lot of energy and flying around on offense and defense and being physical.
Well, I'm guessing there's going to be plenty of flying around and being physical on Friday night, Coach, and we wish you the best of luck this Friday night against New Boston.
I appreciate you calling.
All right, Coach. Good talking to you. Coach Arec Sardenia from Dangerfield on Bryan Houston Sports Radio Live on 99.3 Talk FM.